Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick, KyogreKauai, and we are here for our IBA draft analysis. I'm super hype about this. Been wanting to talk about this for like all week. But yeah, so IBA Season 3 Draft League, Singles Draft League, 11 Pokemon get drafted by each coach. There's 14 coaches. I think it's a 10-week season, and we are getting things started here. So we had 11 picks to make, essentially, and 120 points to spend on picking them. Each Pokemon was worth anywhere from 18 to 1 point, and basically, yeah, you have to make sure you can pick 11 Pokemon with 120 points, and yeah, make it all work. So definitely leave a like down below if you are excited for IBA Season 3. I have competed in both IBA Season 1 and Season 2 over the course of the last year. I was actually the champion of IBA Season 1, did terribly IBA Season 2, and I'm definitely coming back with a vengeance for Season 3. So, without further ado, our very first pick here, round 1. I was in the draft. I was like the middle, so I was closer to the top, so I was like the 6th pick, I think, 6th or 7th pick or something like that. So I was pretty close to the middle. So a couple other people got to pick first, but when it got to me, I spent a whopping 18 points on a Tapu Koko. So I thought this thing got Rising Voltage, not gonna lie. I didn't even look at its moveset. We drafted right after all the new Pokemon came out. I know it has the Electric Terrain, Electric Surge, and that's a good ability. So I just decided to pick it up because I know it's a fast and powerful Pokemon that can also like pivot with Volt Switch and Thunderbolt, Discharge, Dazzling Gleam. Good special attacker. Doesn't get Play Rough though, but other good physical moves as well. But mainly wanted it for the Electric Terrain potential because terrains are pretty powerful. A bunch of other Pokemon, which you'll see later on in the draft, wink wink, can benefit from the Psychic Terrain, or not Psychic Terrain, Electric Terrain being up. And I thought it got Rising Voltage, which would have been super powerful, but I see why they didn't give it Rising Voltage, because that's just way too powerful of a move. But anyway, yeah, I was just like, boom, Tapu Koko. Didn't honestly put too much thought about it. I was like, this is a Pokemon I'll start with. I'll build the rest of my team around Tapu Koko. So pick 2 came around, and I was like, new Pokemon. I want to use a new Pokemon. And Ghost Pony here, Spectrier, it seemed really fun. It's super fast and high special attack, and it can kind of sweep through teams because of its ability, boosting its special attack every time it gets a KO. Only downside of this Pokemon is its very shallow move pool. It only has Ghost and Dark type moves, so it pretty much gets walled by Dark types and normal types pretty heavily. Also could fall to like priority sucker punches and stuff like that. But if those Pokemon get eliminated, this Pokemon could sweep through teams, I believe, pretty easily. So that's why I went ahead and picked up Spectrier on the team for 16 points, leaving me with only 86 points after my first 2 picks. And then around came round 3. A lot of Pokemon were gone, had drafted at this point, but I was very happy with my pick. I wanted a Steel type, a bulky Steel type, and Ferrothorn is one of the best bulky Steel types out there. Being able to set Stealth Rocks and Spikes, just layer hazards. It can boost its own defense. It can be annoying with Leech Seed. Super bulky Pokemon can tank hits and just be overall annoying to deal with, which is what I wanted to do. That's really all. I mean, you should know how good Ferrothorn is. It's Ferrothorn. Just gotta watch out for Fire type attacks because they will always destroy it. On to pick numero 4. We got our boy Salamence. I love Salamence. It's been a while since I've used it, since it hasn't been in Pokemon Sword and Shield until right now. I think it's a really fun Pokemon, having different options like Intimidate and Moxie. I've always loved using it. And I think it's a fun Pokemon and can be run. It's got a good move pool, both physical and special. Dragon type is really good. I wanted my team to have a Fairy, Steel, and Dragon type core, which now on my 4th pick, I did have that with Tapu Koko being Fairy, Ferrothorn being Steel, and Salamence being Dragon. Flying type, also not a type that I had, so just gave me 2 other types that I didn't have. A fast physical attacker, because Tapu Koko and Spectrier I was looking at being more fast special attackers. Ferrothorn obviously being a very bulky defensive wall, so I wanted something that could help me sweep, potentially setting up Dragon Dance and sweeping with Moxie. On the physical side of things is why I went with Salamence there. Yeah, 14 points. So you can see a lot of big spending points. I was nervous about doing this because after round 4, I had spent over half of my points. So I was kind of big spending going on over here. Next up, pick number 5. Pick number 5, I went with Blastoise. I really decided to heavily invest in getting different type coverages and stuff like that. So the Fire, Water, Grass core is another one in addition to the Fairy, Dragon, Steel, which I had just completed. So Ferrothorn already being a part of the Grass type, I was like, all right, I want a Water type. I also want a Pokemon that can Rapid Spin and deal with hazards, be a hazard removal, and another relatively bulky Pokemon to back up Ferrothorn and be potentially bulky when I needed to. Or offense, and honestly, Blastoise filled all these niches and can be offensive, can be defensive. It's a water type, which I wanted, and it has Rapid Spin. Blastoise fits perfectly, I feel, on my draft at this point in time when I was looking at things, how I wanted to build the rest of my draft. And hazard control is something I value a lot. So, and I like Blastoise. I think it's a cool Pokemon. Now that it can Shell Smash, it can be a very threatening sweeper, honestly. So, very happy picking up Blastoise round 5. Only 9 points too, so started looking at some of those lower tiers, trying to spend less points. Left me with 48 points at this point in time. And then next up we have, rounding out our Fire, Water, Grass core, I went ahead and picked up for 11 points, kind of a pricey one, but I really, really wanted it. It was the best Fire type that I could see, and one of the only Fire types that can one-shot one of the most powerful Ice type Pokemon, Calyrex, Ice Rider. It can, which is a huge threat. This thing unless certain situations can do, it's just a big damage, that Ice type Calyrex basically. Has the potential to one-hit KO it in certain situations. Just a very powerful Fire and Ghost type Pokemon. Didn't like doubling up on the Ghost type, but I really wanted the Fire type, and Chandelure was like a really, really powerful, specially attacking one that I wanted to have on the team. And a very diverse move pool too. It's good, like Psychic, Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, like coverage, Fire, like all of the stab, and coverage moves that it needs to function really, really well. All right, number 7. We picked up Mudsdale. I wanted some more bulk. I wanted a ground type on my team at this point, and I wanted more, just a different defensive tank that wasn't Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is good for defense, but you can't rely on it all the time being weak to fire. I had no ground types, so I wanted an electric type immunity to be able to shut down other powerful electric types. This thing can be really bulky. You can throw an assault vest on it. You can, it takes hits. It can boost its its physical defense boosts with stamina every time it gets hit. It's another Pokemon that can set up Stealth Rock. So now I have 2 Stealth Rock Pokemon in Ferrothorn and Mudsdale. And yeah, just more types on my team, just to have diversity of types on my draft. So that's all I can say. And this thing hits like a truck. It's a slow, bulky, but physical attacker as well. So that's why I went with Mudsdale. Number 8, we're finally starting to incorporate some aspects that benefit from the electric terrain I mentioned earlier. So Tapu Koko now can set up the electric terrain for Raichu, who does learn very powerful move, Rising Voltage, which does much more power when in electric terrain. Also, Raichu's speed with its ability Surge Surfer double. So it's twice as fast and hits crazy powerful with Rising Voltage when the electric terrain is up. So I picked Raichu for that, also to have a Psychic type on my team, which I wanted to have. I was looking for a Psychic type at the time, and you know, was like, I'll be kind of weak to ground having 2 electric types, but I have a flying type, and I have a water type already, and a grass type, so things that can deal with ground types I have, so I felt okay picking up a Lowland Raichu for 8 points. Again, yeah, I'm running low on points, so 21 points. Actually, at this point, I'd kind of recouped a lot of points by picking like the 9-point Blastoise, 8-point Mudsdale, and Raichu, leaving myself with 21 points with 3 picks left. So a decent amount of points for 3 picks to work with. In our 9th pick, we went back to big spending though. I laid out a ground, like at this point I had like picks 6 through 11 or 7 through 11 like all planned out. Like I was planning them out ahead of time. I pretty much knew what I wanted and I was just waiting for it to happen. Luckily nobody sniped the Pokemon I wanted. Hawlucha was a big 15-point Pokemon that didn't go in the earlier rounds. Nobody picked it up. I don't have a fighting type on my team yet, and I'm looking at this Hawlucha, and I really always kind of wanted it and decided to work it into my game plan because with Electric Seed, if the Electric Terrain is up, Hawlucha switches in. It gets a boost with Electric Seed, and then its ability Unburden. Wow, that's a tongue twister for me to say right now, apparently. Its ability Unburden activates, doubling its speed, making it incredibly fast, which is hard for opponents to deal with sometimes, being how fast it is. And it can hit really powerfully, too. Good coverage, being a flying and fighting type. Hawlucha is a solid Pokemon, and definitely good to have it with a terrain Pokemon that can get the Unburden popped off automatically. So I have 6 points to work with at this point now, and I'm like, all right, well, I can either do like a 3 and a 3-point, or a 2 and a 4-point, or a 1 and a 5-point. And I actually went with a 5-point, so meaning I have to pick a 1-point, very, very low, weak Pokemon for my last spot. But I went with Sableye for a very good reason. It's just a really, really, really good support Pokemon with so many different support options to just slow down enemy teams and be annoying. Its ability Prankster means those support non-damaging moves have priority, so it can really, like, Prankster Will-O-Wisp can shut down physical attackers. It can taunt. It can. It just, I mean, I'm blanking now, of course, that I'm supposed to be talking about it and sounding like I know what I'm talking about, but it gets like Fake Out, Knock Off, Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Sneak, Toxic, lots of different moves that can just be really annoying. Pretty much just, I really drafted it mainly for Prankster Will-O-Wisp, to be honest. That can be super good to shut down physical attackers, which I was kind of worried about some strong physical attackers, so went with Sableye. And then our final pick, pick number 11, we have Cutiefly. So Cutiefly was like, there's really nothing good that was worth 1 point, but this thing has some good support moves. Like it can set up Light Screen, and Reflect, and set up Tailwind and Sticky Web. So it definitely has a lot of good support options. You can put a Focus Sash on it and just try to set up some stuff like that. So yeah, I felt like it had the most utility, the most valuable Pokemon I could get for 1 point was Cutiefly, with all the different support options it has, just to support my already really expensive and powerful rest of my team. So I'm happy with my draft, honestly, not gonna lie. Very, very happy with it. I think it's very strong. Maybe a few tweaks will come down the road to the team, make some swaps, which I have. You can make 3 swaps or trades throughout the season, so we shall see how it goes. Week 1 will be up a week from today, so week from today you'll be watching my week 1 battle. Make sure to tune in. You don't want to miss a single week of IBA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to be liking the video, subscribing to me if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.